Black Americans hold over $5 trillion collectively. But it's still a huge, massive gap compared to their white counterparts. Let's get into it. So I researched some things, and you will be blown out of your mind when you see what I've found out. I jotted some things down on my notebook here, and we're going to go over some numbers today. So, Black Americans hold over $5.4 trillion to $5.6 trillion collectively. But compared to their white counterparts, 120 plus trillion dollars. A T. The big T, trillion. That is a massive gap. White Americans hold over 20 times the wealth of Black Americans. We need to do something about that. I ran across what the St. Louis Fed reported. Black households had about 352,000 average wealth, which is a 53% increase ever since the Great Recession, which is good. That's good. That's a good thing. We're making a lot more money. And this was, I believe this report was in 2025. You can look more into it. Let's go over the Hispanic. The Hispanic was less than us. It was 285,000, which is a 63% increase. Now, when it comes to the whites, the white Americans, 1.5 million, 68% increase. Now, when it comes to the median household for Black Americans, and this is what really irritated me, really pissed me off, is 44,000. And for white Americans, the median was 284,310. Now tell me how that is fair, a fair equation of money distribution. There's something wrong there. And we all, Black Americans, we all know what's wrong there. We had things go on back in the day, which was redlining, credit. There's a lot of things that we couldn't apply for, that we couldn't get. You had the, the thing that Biden came out with, which was the something crime bill, which put a lot of Black Americans in jail and prison. There's been a lot of gates in front of us for us to be able to even catch up and make money like that. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention is we need generational wealth. We need wealth to be able to pass on to our kids. Without generational wealth, how are we able to thrive in America? So that's another thing too. is that white Americans has been able to pass farmland down to their family, businesses down to their family. We need that same thing. And that's another problem that we have in the black community. And it's not all of our fault. So anyway, that being said, I wanted to bring that up too. That generational wealth and passing things down is one of the most important things you can do. I do have some good ideas on how maybe we can start doing it, but that's just massive. I looked into ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, would networking work? And ChatGPT said, no, that wouldn't really work because the gap is too massive. So ChatGPT gave me some good ideas on how to be able to bring in more total wealth for black Americans. But it's going to be hard because a lot of the things is, if we're not making enough, then how are we going to be able to do all these things that ChatGPT says to do? I came up with some good ideas myself. Especially if you have a family, you got kids and stuff. One of the things my dad didn't do, and I love my dad, I love my mom, but one of the things that I wish my dad did do that he didn't do is he didn't teach me how to invest. He didn't know anything about investment, because back in the day, investment to actually not just black Americans, but other people too, it looked like a scam. So therefore, you had a lot of, especially black Americans, that probably didn't know anything about investing. And if they did, they heard about it and they thought it was a scam. I think investing is one of the number one things, because if my dad taught me how to invest, or let's say he invested a little bit of money into me and then also taught me how to invest, about time I turned 18, I probably would have had close to $1 million, or at least, I don't know, 500,000-600,000, something like that. And I'm not mad at my dad about that. I learned how to invest myself. I taught myself, and I actually seen a little bit of profit from it. Investing is a real thing, and that's a way that you can actually get some wealth without really doing anything, but just keep investing over and over again. Don't day trade, just invest $1 a day, or, for example, for me, what I do is I invest, I only invest $20 a month, okay, on another account. And then I got other accounts where it's like 10, 15, and I've seen the profits from that. I also have a simple IRA that, the simple IRA is basically something that you can get from your job. I think you can also get it through, I think you can also just open up one. I'm not 100% sure, but I got it through my job, and they match you. So like if I say, okay, I want to put in $20, well, then they'll put in $20. But anyway, the last time I looked, I had got a good amount of money from that, especially with the stock markets being up because of AI and all of that. Anyway, besides all that, I'm not trying to get into just investing. There's other things you can do with your kids and yourself. Like I said, one, investing. Two, I believe in trying to hold assets. Another thing too is, as far as assets and stuff, try to buy things outright. If you can't afford it and you got to put it on credit, a lot of times just don't get it. If you got to drive a beater truck or a car, an SUV around to save money, do it. Because nowadays, a lot of people are upside down in their car loans. I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of them. I still owe about $15,000 on my truck. And it sucks because then I have some of my money tied up into my truck loan. The only reason why I got a truck is to help me get a trailer, and it was for my business. And I still have a business. I have a small pressure washing business that I run. I haven't seen so much fruit of my labor yet, but I believe that I will be able to get some more money in the future. I have gotten some jobs. I have gotten some jobs. So owning a business is really cool because, you can, anything you buy, like, for example, when I bought my pressure washer, I got to write that on my taxes that I bought that, including the chemicals and a whole bunch of other things that I got. This year, I'm trying to get a trailer and write that on my tax form. Because when you invest in your own business, the IRS likes that. But anyway, besides all that, try to own things outright. Please. What's another thing that I can say? I'm kind of thinking of these things as, as I talk to you guys. So I'm thinking of these things that, problems that I ran into. So I said investing, assets, also trying to own your things outright. Owning a house is a hit or miss. Owning a house, that's investing in your future. I get it, but it can be a little wishy-washy because, the market could be good one year and the market could suck the next year. And then you're stuck in that house. I don't know much about owning houses because I've never owned one. But I'm just telling you from what my friend is said and, other things on the internet that I've run into and videos and stuff like that. Also, make sure that you educate yourself a lot. Educate your kids. Since we're in the AI era, learn about AI. I personally is working on an app. I got 2 apps. One app is a tracker app. It's basically an app where you write down a challenge or a problem that you have that you want to succeed in. So let's say, for example, no sugar for 5 days. Okay, well then you check off every day that you haven't had sugar. And then once those 5 days are completed, then you completed your challenge. So it's kind of one of those things that, it kind of makes you try to stay on your schedule or a commitment that you wanted to make. And then I'm kind of doing some tweaks and stuff with that app. And then I have another app. Now get this is crazy. So I got another app where I'm trying to make it where you can find a black doctor real easy. And the reason why I kind of laughed a little bit is there was a company or a website called findyourblackdoctor.com. And they got sued. I forgot who sued them, but this guy is trying to sue them for, I don't know, racial discrimination or something like that. You had to look into it. And that just kind of irritated the heck out of me because it's like, that's what I was kind of working on. Luckily, I haven't completed it. But I was doing more than just Find Your Black Doctor. I was doing some other things too, grants and stuff like that. But I'm using AI to create that app. You can also use AI to try to help, if you're into YouTube, help you come up with, scripts and stuff like that. I kind of is trying to be more into the talking head thing where, I think as I go or, and I use AI. I use AI for a lot of different things too. As far as trying to come up with some script, but I don't use it all the way for my whole entire video. But, anyway, besides that, look into AI. Another thing that's really sat on my heart heavily is we need to connect together. We need to come together and invest in our Black businesses, invest in our young communities, open up things, open up a Black school, open up a Black-owned restaurant, open up a Black-owned vape shop. Oh, just start opening up stuff. But I know it's hard because we don't have the capital, and that's where the problem's at. The only thing I could think is to get business loans, and somehow make those business loans or grants work towards your favor where you can profit on the back end, because there's a lot of people that do that too. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention on what's going on with the gap and, how large the gap is. It's a real thing. And so I'm just calling out all my Black brothers and sisters to the forefront. We need to come together and we need to work on doing some things. As far as yourself and your kids, if you have kids. But anyway, if you like this content, please hit the subscribe button. And please hit that button called the hype button. Please hit it. Anyway, stay tuned because I will be coming out with more stuff like this. And I'm also going to be working on more Black history, hidden Black history that you have never heard of. Anyway, y'all have a good day.